The room was quiet now, though the echoes of the earthquake still lingered in Sheng Shao Yu's mind. Dust floated in the air, suspended like tiny reminders of the chaos that had recently shaken their lives. He sat slumped in a chair, his hands gripping his head, his mind a storm of confusion, betrayal, and pain. I trusted you. I loved you. And now everything is gone, he whispered to himself. The words felt hollow in the emptiness of the room, yet they carried the weight of a heart shattered beyond repair. His chest felt heavy, every beat like a hammer against broken glass. He had survived the earthquake physically, but emotionally, he was crushed. The memory of Hua Yong protecting him, shielding him from falling debris, reacting with a speed and precision Sheng had never seen before clashed violently with the realization that everything he believed about Hua Yong had been a lie. Not cruel lies meant to wound, perhaps, but omissions, carefully hidden truths that had allowed Sheng to love blindly. I wanted someone soft, someone I could trust, someone I could care for without fear, Sheng muttered. Not this. Not someone manipulative, someone I can't read, someone who hides everything. Sheng's eyes traced the lines of Hua Yong's face across the room. He was calm, composed even now after everything. There was a quiet intensity to his gaze, a strength that had been his salvation moments before. And yet, it felt like a knife twisting in Sheng's chest. That strength, that control, had always been part of Hua Yong's nature, a nature Sheng had never fully understood. The silence stretched between them, heavy and suffocating. Sheng's mind replayed the events of the night, each movement of Hua Yong during the earthquake, every instinctive act of protection. He should feel gratitude, admiration, even love, but what rose in his chest was anger, frustration, and betrayal. The revelation that Hua Yong was not an Omega, that he had allowed Sheng to believe in a false identity, shattered the fragile trust Sheng had built. Hua Yong watched silently, standing apart, his hands folded, his posture steady. There was no rush to justify, no plea to explain. He understood the depth of Sheng's pain and gave him the space to confront it, to feel every bitter ounce of heartbreak. Hua Yong's mind raced, balancing the urge to speak with the knowledge that words might only make the wound deeper. Sheng's voice rose, trembling with a mixture of despair and fury. I don't care about safety. You lied to me. You let me believe in a person that doesn't exist. How am I supposed to love you now when everything about you was manipulation? Hua Yong's expression remained unreadable. He did not flinch, did not argue. His silence was deliberate, measured, giving Sheng the power to voice his hurt while Hua Yong held firm, his presence a paradox of protection and distance. I thought I knew you, Sheng continued, voice cracking. I thought you were like me. Honest, vulnerable, someone I could love and trust completely. And now I see that you're not. You're everything I swore I never wanted. Hua Yong took a step closer, softening slightly, though his aura of control and authority remained. I never pretended to be someone I wasn't. I allowed you to believe what made you comfortable. You were safe, yes. You were vulnerable. But everything I did was for you, Sheng. Always for you. Sheng shook his head violently, hair falling into his eyes. I don't want someone like you. I wanted someone sweet, soft. Someone I could hold without fear, without doubt. Not someone my equal, someone manipulative, someone who tests me and tortures me. Not you. Hua Yong said nothing. He simply observed every subtle movement, every quiver of Sheng's hands, every tear rolling down his cheeks engraved in his memory. He understood. He had wanted Sheng to love him wholly, to surrender completely, to ache for him in ways that would bind their hearts. And Sheng had, blindly, hopelessly, until now. I can't do this, Sheng whispered, voice trembling. I can't be with someone who isn't what I wanted, someone I can't trust, someone who uses me even unintentionally. I can't. Hua Yong's jaw tightened slightly, a rare flicker of internal struggle crossing his features. His pride warred with his emotions, his control clashing with the ache in his chest. He could argue, insist, demand that Sheng understand, but he didn't. Not now. Not after this. Some battles could not be fought when the heart was already broken. Then leave, Hua Yong said quietly, almost a whisper, yet every syllable carried authority. I won't stop you. I won't beg. If this is what you choose, I'll accept it. Sheng's hands trembled as he rose, each movement heavy with the weight of heartbreak. He glanced back at Hua Yong, the man who had saved him, who had shielded him from harm, and who had simultaneously shattered every illusion of love he had held. You're not the man I want. You never were, he said, voice trembling but resolute. Hua Yong remained still, silent, watching him leave. Inside, a storm raged, regret, sorrow, unspoken longing, but outwardly, he was unmoved. Love, in his way, was never gentle. It was unyielding, uncompromising, and all-consuming. He had loved Sheng fully, even if it had cost him the one thing he desired most: Sheng's trust and surrender. Sheng stepped into the sunlight, the cool air brushing his face. Each step was heavy, laden with the weight of shattered expectations and broken dreams. He didn't look back. Not once. He knew that the man who had captivated his heart, the man who had saved him, challenged him, and manipulated him would remain behind, solitary and untouchable. Hua Yong's eyes followed him until he disappeared from view. The earthquake had destroyed more than walls. It had revealed truths that could not be ignored. Hua Yong's strength, his secrets, his manipulations, and Sheng's realization of what he truly desired in love. Sheng wanted softness, honesty, vulnerability, none of which Hua Yong could offer without compromising the core of who he was. And Hua Yong? He had loved in his own way, powerful and controlling, but it had driven the one person he cared for away. Hua Yong remained a shadow in Sheng's memories, a paradox of salvation and heartbreak, a man who had loved with everything he was, but could not give what Sheng needed. And Sheng, walking into the sunlight, carried both sorrow and clarity, a heart broken, but a heart awakened to the kind of love that could sustain him. As the day faded and shadows lengthened, two hearts rested apart. One seeking warmth and safety, the other cloaked in pride and hidden truths. Their love had burned fiercely, but in its ashes lay a bitter clarity. Some bonds, no matter how intense, cannot survive the truths they conceal. The story did not end, it transformed. Heartbreak, longing, and betrayal lingered like a heavy fog. Both knew their paths might cross again. Both knew the pull between them was not entirely severed. But for now, they were apart, each carrying the weight of a love that had consumed them and left only fragments behind.